สวัสดีผมชื่อโรซาโนฉันเรียนภาษาไทยตั้งแต่เดือนที่แล้วฉันฝึกฝนตลอดเวลาด้วยแอปของฉันพูดได้ช้าพูดได้น้อยมากแต่ฉันมีความสุขเรียนภาษาไทยให้สนุก That being said, let's talk about what works about this method, what doesn't work so well, and how easy actually all of this is. How likely would it be that anybody could actually just do something like this? It's really great for memorizing words and basically turns memory into a choice. So when you're out in the real world, you can almost guarantee that you'll be able to recall things, which is useful. I found myself being able to buy things, being able to ask questions, and understand some of the time. My ability to order food in Thai is noticeably more complex, and that's nice because you end up getting something tasty as a result of your practice. And it's super satisfying to have someone understand what I mean. Like, I can say something, and the result of that is I can get exactly the thing that I wanted. Somehow I can even read a little bit, even though I'm not really trying to learn the writing so much. You tend to notice like, oh, that's like an R sound, that's like a W sound, that's an L sound, and then it adds up over time, and you start to get some impression of how things are written and being able to read even. What doesn't work so well is that you're not really sure when things are wrong because you're using Google Translate, and as I mentioned in the previous video, this is imperfect but useful. So you get a bunch of mostly useful translations, but you can never really guarantee that it's exactly what you think it is. So there's some kind of ambiguity there, and so you'll probably end up needing corrections. But I think if you talk with people or you engage with people with the language, like, that will resolve itself. And then there's the aspect of tones. There's 5 tones in the Thai language, and I'm basically pretending to do those. I would like to do them well, but just following what the sounds that the computer produces, I can't actually know that I'm doing that. I think it's better to try and learn something like this by just talking with people through immersion, by following media, etc. Another thing that's limiting about this is that you have lots of gaps. Okay, I have 500 cards in my deck, and 500 cards means maybe 500 to 700, 800, 900, 1,000 words maybe, but you still end up like, oh, I don't know how to say that one, and then I feel kind of stuck. So it doesn't really feel fluid or conversational, which is what my goal was. And of course, within such a short period of time, you can't really expect to get that far, but it's good to know how far you can get. And I think I really need to be more proactive about finding people I can practice with, trying to get in like a few extra phrases, even if I'm like buying something at a store, like trying to make some small talk, taking little opportunities to speak a little bit more and practice producing phrases, because then you can test your reflexes. You can put your reflexes into action. So that's kind of what doesn't work so well about this. Let's talk about what kind of investment would be required to do this. Like, how much time is involved, what is needed. I'm fascinated by how little knowledge you need in order to do this. Like, you don't have to know anything about Thai. You just type what you want to say into Google Translate and turn that into flashcards, and then you can sort of do what I just did, basically. So it's not like you need to know how to know, you need to know how to learn the thing in advance. You're kind of doing something fairly mindless. It's not like you have some domain-specific knowledge there. So I think that's fascinating. There's also no course. You're not following some pre-prescribed linear progression that someone else has decided for you. And you can just focus on stuff that you're interested in. So it's super relevant and meaningful, most of the things that you're learning. And then there's no schedule. You're not doing it every day at such and such time as you might do with a course. It's not a specific amount of time every day either. And some people may prefer that. Someone like me, maybe I prefer things to be more flexible, but I'm not like spending, 1 hour every afternoon to practice my Thai. It's more like 5 minutes here and there, or 30 seconds if I have some time, like while I'm waiting in line, while I'm walking somewhere, maybe while I'm waiting for my rice cooker to finish doing its thing, squeezing it in little moments throughout the day. And the result of that is like pretty cool, I would say. I did spend some time nerding out, looking at the list of letters or trying to understand grammatical things, but I would say 90% of the result is by simply playing the game, making the cards, figuring out mnemonic devices, playing the game to see if I remember them. 90% of the result. So to review, what worked well is that it turned memory into a choice, and I was able to recall many of my cards from memory without needing to look anything up, and that facilitated some useful interactions in the real world. What didn't work so well is I have not really achieved a kind of fluidity. I know a lot of words, but I have a bunch of gaps, and I need to speak with people or maybe watch TV shows or listen to music so that I can get more immersion and develop some fluidity with the language. In terms of how approachable it is, I would say that it's a pretty low amount of effort for the result that you get. And it's something that I think is pretty doable by anybody. You don't really need to know anything about the language in order to learn it. And I find that fascinating because that's the whole point of going through a course or having a teacher, is that you need somebody who already knows to guide you through the thing. And in this way, you're kind of doing self-directed learning, which lets you focus on things that are meaningful and interesting to you and personalized. Everything is super relevant when you're learning. So that's all I have to share for now. I am going to be staying here a little bit longer, and so I'm going to work on finding more opportunities to practice conversation with people and immersion, and let's see if I can make a difference maybe a month from now. See you next time.